Hi, I'm Doug McKinlay, and you're watching Adorama TV. Now, for today's episode, we're doing the 15-minute challenge. That means one camera body and one lens. Now, what I'm going to do is mimic a fictitious newspaper assignment on deadline. We're here in the City of London, the financial district of the UK. Now, we're in front of the Royal Exchange building, which dates back to about mid-1500s or so. Now, it's a financial story, so that's why we're going to be here in this part of the city. Now, my goal is to try and find enough images to flesh out the story, to illustrate the story that a picture editor is going to like. So, first and foremost, we're going to try and get a nice big opening shot of the building behind me. But crucially, there's lots of pictures of this building around. So we're going to try and find a different angle in this shot so it gets a better chance of giving a good show.
Earlier, I said one camera body and one lens. I didn't say which lens though, so I'm going to cheat a bit and use a medium zoom. In this case, a Canon 24-70 2.8 lens on my Canon 5D Mark III. I figured this will give me enough scope to produce a variety of images for possible use.
So earlier I talked about changing location a little bit, changing the angle in the shot. Now we've moved across the street to get a different view of the Royal Exchange building behind me. Now this was quite good because it picks up one of the newer buildings in the background there, and that one's called the Cheese Grater building. So I'm going to try and get a landscape format shot here that's just a little different from the normal kind of pictures I see of this building. Gives it a better chance of getting in the paper. Now in my head I'm looking at the layout of the piece in a tabloid style newspaper, and hopefully right across the top of that page is going to be a landscape shot like this. Now I'm well into the 15 minutes of my challenge here, and right about now I would be expecting a text from the editor saying, where are my pictures? So there's a little bit of pressure on it. We got to get moving on this. After this shot, I'm going to look for some shots that might be a little more telling of the area. For instance, maybe some suited and booted city boys, the masters of the universe, the guys who run all the financial houses around here. After that, I'm going to look for some more detailed pictures. That could be landscape style or that could be portrait style. We don't know until we get it. But I got to get moving because my 15 minutes is going to fast come to an end. The whole point of this exercise is to give an editor enough scope, enough pictures to really illustrate a story, and in a very short space of time. We're here outside of the old Leadenhall Market in the City of London, next to the incredibly cool Lloyd's of London building. Now, what I like about this picture is it's giving us a real view of the old and the new. Now, this part of London is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the whole city. So you're going to get a lot of the older architecture with some of the newer architecture. And I think it makes a really great mix, especially when we're talking about a financial story. Now, the story is a fictitious drop in the pound, so we're going to try and illustrate that. Now, behind me, as you can see behind me, we've got the Lloyd's building and we've got the Leadenhall Market. Now, there's a big piece of open sky there, which is going to cause us problems in terms of exposure. But it's the perfect place to try some auto exposure bracketing. Now, I've got my camera set to AV, to aperture priority, and I've got 1 1/3 stops over and under. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to take that photograph and let the camera do all the work, bang it off the 3 frames. And then when I transfer this stuff to the newspaper, I will let them know that frames, whatever the frame numbers are bracketed. And it's up to them whether or not they want to compress the pictures together and use that image. But this is a good way to try and get your picture without having to worry too much about bringing out filters and tripods and all that kind of stuff. Bracket the shots and then compress it in the computer. So right about now, we're getting pretty close to the end of our 15 minutes here. And instead of getting text messages from editors, I'm now getting phone calls. But I'm ignoring them. I don't need them to tell me to hurry up. I already know that. So we've got quite a bit of the stuff shot now. We're getting close to being finished. I just need to get a few shots of some of the people who work in this area. Now it's getting close to lunchtime here in the city, and you can see all the denizens of the financial houses are all out in the streets looking for some food. That's a good time for us to get pictures of them. By practicing these kind of really quick, hard 15-minute exercises, it kind of hones your skills a little bit. So let's say you're on a layover on a holiday somewhere, you've got 2 or 3 hours to kill in a city. By doing this kind of stuff, it really keeps your mind clear on what you can do in those short 2 or 3 hour time frame and get some nice pictures. So we're going to move on and try and get some of these guys in their suits. So that's it for our challenge. Our 15 minutes is well and truly over. By now, I would have an editor screaming on the phone asking for those images. But I think we fulfilled the challenge. We've got our holding shots, our detailed pictures, and everything else we need to get to flesh the story out. So that's it from me, Doug McKinlay for Adorama TV. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to Adorama TV for more great videos. And do stop by the Adorama Learning Center for more great tips and tricks. You can like, comment, or share in this video too.